Another week of Bears Talk Live here from the Blowing Rock Draft House in Hickory, NC. The show is presented by J. Brown Realtors. I'm Everick Bach, joined by head football coach Mike Jacobs as always. What a week it's been for the Bears. What a weekend it's going to be for the Bears. A huge overtime win for men's soccer last night over number 20 Chowan. Top 3 finish for women's golf in their final fall event down in Florida. Volleyball finally comes home this weekend. It feels like forever since they've been home. Friday and Saturday home matches. And Saturday is maybe the busiest day of the entire year for LR athletics. You've got football at Wingate, obviously. Men's and women's soccer home against Wingate. Volleyball home against Queens. Men's basketball goes over to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. So it's just going to be a jam-packed day. And one of the highlights of it is the Bears' trip down to Wingate. And, Coach, 3-game win streak. You guys have allowed 3 points in the last 2 games. That's the fewest amount of points an LR team has allowed in a 2-game stretch since 1962. That's the last time LR had back-to-back shutouts. So I want to talk about the defense first. What can you talk about the progress that they've made from the beginning of the season to today?
Sure. Again, it all starts up front. We've had arguably our most consistent position group all year has been our defensive line. Those guys have done a tremendous job, and I think that what it's done is you've seen some of our younger defensive backs, especially at the corner position, had a little bit of time to develop. You see them tackling better than they have early in the season, which is something that we had challenged them on, and I think they're just playing better together. And, I think we're doing a really good job. We're running to the football. We've created some takeaways, which help field position and all that kind of stuff, gives us extra possessions. And, again, I think they've just done a really good job playing together, playing hard, trying to be physical, and playing as a unit.
Since the UVA-Wise game at the beginning of the month, you guys have won 3 straight and just looked more cohesive. Offense, defense, special teams kind of working together better. What do you think kind of flipped the switch after that game, the Tusculum win and then obviously the 2 blowout wins the last couple of weeks?
Just consistency. We've had really good practice habits over the last month. You guys hear me talk about that all the time, but I think our guys have done a great job at practice. Our health at certain positions has improved, which has given us some guys back, which is a good thing. And then just the day in and day out. And I think when, again, it's really good to beat Carson Newman, a rival, big. It's good to have a great homecoming win against Limestone. I think you can look at the Tusculum game against a good Tusculum team. I don't care what their record is at 4-4, but to fight through, to show grit, to win in a close game, to me, that was really the turning point for our kids, and I think they've done a fantastic job. I think our leaders have done a great job internally of laying real crystal clear guidelines of what's expected of everyone at practice, and you got a team that's playing pretty good football right now.
Now that you mentioned homecoming, a few days to kind of reflect on that Limestone game, what was your impressions of just the scene and all the pomp and circumstance of homecoming at LR?
It was unbelievable. Anytime you can turn around on the home sideline, there's not a seat in the whole place, and the student section's full, and the band's there, and there's a good crowd from the other side. Like, to see that, to feel it, you could feel the energy, and our kids feed off that. There's a reason we're 3-0 at home right now, and those kids feed off that energy, and they know how important it is and what a privilege it is to play between the bricks.
Saturday for you was a milestone, your 50th win as a head coach in 5+ seasons, most of them at Notre Dame, but a few of those wins have come here, hopefully many more on the way. But what does 50 years and 50 wins in such a short amount of time mean to you?
To me, it's just I have a bunch of gratitude, right, to the families and the players that committed to us in the process, whether it was at Notre Dame or here, the effort that they give, the way they do things, how they played, those all built into it. And then I think one of the things that you can't overlook at any level of college football anymore, and really anything, is consistent, loyal people. And I've had unbelievable assistants. Those guys do a fantastic job. They're great teachers, and a bunch of them have been with me since we got an opportunity to become a head coach. And, for 5 years and some change with the spring, right?
Yeah.
to average 10 wins a season is really special. We'd love to keep it up at that rate, and I think it just says that I've been able to do. If I've done nothing else, I've been able to surround myself with really good people, and it's put us in position to have a lot of success.
Back to this year's team, we talk about Dewey a lot, and obviously his numbers speak for themselves. But I know you're an O-line guy, and most of his success is a product of the offensive line's steady, noticeable improvement throughout the season. But what can you say about the progress they've made in a very relatively short amount of time?
It says a lot about their work ethic, and I think it says a lot about how they approach practice, their willingness to try a few things a little bit different than maybe they were used to. I think it says a lot about Anthony Soto, our offense coordinator, who's also our offensive line coach. I try to hang out down there and just not get in the way because it's comfortable to me. I don't look like a DB. Me telling a kid how to backpedal doesn't do much. They look at my body type and they know I haven't done that much in my life. Where the O-line, I got a little more credibility with what I'm doing. So, but those kids have been really consistent. Again, that's a position where our health has dramatically improved, and I think you're just seeing guys in our system, game speed reps, day in and day out, and they've shown tremendous progress.
Mari Houston's put together an All-American type season the past few weeks. His play speaks for itself, but what does his leadership mean on that defense that we talked about has really locked in these past couple weeks?
Amari's been unbelievable. I called him out in Sunday's meeting after the game, and I think this was the third week in a row he had won our team's player of the week on defense or shared it with another guy. And, when you look at the numbers and the stats that he's putting up, and, they almost look like linebacker or safety numbers, and this is a kid that's the nose tackle.
Right. That
tells you that he's playing with tremendous effort, great motor. He's super quick. And then just at the end of the day, he is a guy that you can singularly point to and say, this is what a Bear should look like.
Yeah.
He's got his degree. He's in an MBA program. He wants to get into college coaching or high school coaching when he's done. And he does everything we ask, and he does it the exact right way. And he's a great example for our young kids.
Time to talk about the big one. The LR Wingate game speaks for itself, but I want to talk about them first. What makes this year's version of Wingate so tough?
It's what it's always been since Joe Reich's been there.
Yeah.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for how Coach Reich runs his program. Wingate is a team that just is consistently good or really good. What makes them that way is that they make very few mistakes. Very often, very little do you see them beat themselves with penalties or turnovers. They're consistent. They make you grind out wins, and they do a really good job evaluating talent and developing talent. I think their roster's as talented as anybody we've played this season, and it's a lot of kids that are 4- and 5-year players that have been in their program for a long time.
They're very balanced on offense, too. They throw it well, they run it well. That's got to create more challenges defensively when they can do both things well.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators' goal is to be somewhere in that 50-50 range. It keeps people completely on their toes. And, it's just like all of us. They try to run the ball to set up throws, whether it's play action or RPOs. And they got some good skill guys to do it. I'm as impressed with their offensive line as any group that we've played this season. And then, they got a 3-year starter at quarterback or a 3.5-year starter at quarterback. And the Shaw Crocker kid that's played a bunch of football for him, and he's a tough kid, and he's made a bunch of big throws in big games.
You guys went there in the spring. This is actually your second trip down there to Wingate. You thumped them that day, 44-21. What do you remember about that game and that day and the way you guys played?
I thought that our kids played extremely well. I'm fortunate enough to have been around some big rivalry games, and we certainly look at this that way. And our kids were as locked in from the morning when they showed up until they got off the bus, and they played that way. Just like anything, our health was pretty good. The breaks went our way, like sometimes a little bit of luck is involved, but we executed at an extremely high level. We did the things. We ran the football against a good defense, and we made some plays in special teams. And in general, we just played with great effort, and it allowed us an opportunity to have a really nice day against, again, a really good football team.
Give me one key to the game for you guys. I'm going to guess it's going to be special teams or turnovers. That's what I'm going to guess.
The line of scrimmage is everything.
Yep.
Run the ball, stop the run, right? Protect the football with all you got, and play fanatical special teams. And do those things, do them consistently, play for each other, and we'll have a chance.
Should be an electric atmosphere. I mean, Halloween weekend, night game, 2 rivals. I mean, you really can't write a better script than this game coming up on Saturday night at Wingate for sure.
Absolutely, and our kids will be dialed in, ready to roll.
Perfect storm for a classic. Mike Jacobs and the Bears trying to still very much in the hunt for a SAC championship. Got to beat Wingate, though, and they'll try to do that on Saturday night. Coach, good luck. We'll be rooting for you here. We're coming up next on Bears Talk Live with softball coach Shena Hollar.
Thanks, Eric.
What does unlimited mean to you? At Carolina West Wireless, it means unlimited media, unlimited fun, and unlimited access to our nationwide high-speed network. Sign up today for an unlimited data plan and pay just $35 per month per line for 4 lines, and we'll include hotspot and big-time savings on a new smartphone. Take $350 off the revolutionary new Samsung Galaxy S20 and get more out of your unlimited. Expect more, get more. Only from Carolina West Wireless.
Welcome back to Bears Talk Live, presented by J. Brown Realtors. Happy to be joined by LR softball coach Shena Hollar, entering her 23rd year as the head coach of LR. 850 all-time wins, never a losing season in those previous 22. 7-time SAC Coach of the Year, 12 regular season SAC championships, 8 SAC tournaments, 13 NCAA tournaments, couple super regionals. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. Coach, thanks so much for taking some time here today.
Thanks for having me here today.
So, fall ball came to a close. You guys just finished up on Sunday. Give me your assessment of how you think fall ball went for the Bears.
Fall ball was good for us. We learned a lot. We've had some freshmen that are going to play some key roles for us this spring. And from where we started against A&T like a month ago to where we were on Sunday, we're excited. And we know what now we need to work on and what we need to build on. But it was a good fall for us.
You guys went up to Boone to play App State, went over to Greensboro to play A&T. A couple of JUCOs came in here. So it was a busy fall for you guys. So what was your biggest positive takeaway from fall ball, and what is the biggest thing you guys think you need to work on heading into the winter?
I think the positive was we hit well this fall.
Okay.
We didn't hit as well at App, but we did hit well. I think we looked at the numbers. We hit like 310, 311 for the fall, which is good.
That's good.
Our pitching got better as the fall went along. We have to stay healthy as a staff. We've had pitchers that, some backs here and a neck issue, but our pitchers have to stay healthy for us to be successful in the spring.
So it's a good core returning group. Top 3 hitters, top 2 pitchers coming back. What do you like most about the team that you have moving into the spring?
Like you said, we have 10 seniors.
Yeah.
Well, we have 9 now. Talon got hurt this fall, and she's going to miss the year. She's actually having some surgery today on her knee.
Wow.
But that's a little bit of impact on us. But we've got some young kids that are going to fill in. But having 9 seniors is a big thing. A lot of experience.
You mentioned the experience, and you also mentioned newcomers that will be in bigger roles. Can you expand on that? Some newcomers that are be playing, and what roles will you hope for them to fill?
We have 3 infielders, middle infielders, third base, that are probably going to play either some short or some second base for us. And then Cassidy Wall, her sister, plays soccer for us.
Yeah.
And so she's going to probably DH some. She hit like 3 home runs this fall, which was really good. After she got settled down, she hit really well. And then Addison some first base and hit. So we brought in some hitters that can swing the bat.
You guys, obviously, during the spring when all the sports were happening at the same time after the fall ones got postponed, you guys played in your normal time slot, but there was just craziness during the COVID year. So it's probably got to be a pretty good feeling for you guys to just be back into your normal fall schedule, into your normal winter workouts, into a regular spring season. That's a sense of normalcy has returned, and that's probably a good thing for you guys.
Oh gosh, yeah. Last spring was, like you said, crazy. Just trying to get going and play well, and then not play well, and have quarantine. It was really difficult, a very difficult year for us. But we're excited, but to be normal, and we're getting ready to do individual work starting in a week, which allows us to get better. We work on hitting, we work on pitching, so that's big to be able to do that. And we do something called CrossFit Games. We start that in 2 weeks, which they enjoy, but they don't enjoy it. But last year at this time in November, boom, we were sending them home. They were going home November 1st or 2nd. They were gone for like 2 or 3 months. But to be able to keep them here till December will be really good.
You guys lost a lot of close one-run games in the last spring. You guys were in basically almost every game you played. Is that a point of emphasis, finding a way late in the games to kind of push yourselves back to the top of the sack?
You don't talk about it a lot, but we did. I think it was either 10 or 12 because I look back at it half were at home, half were on the road.
Yeah.
So you'd think that, we get over that hump this year and with the more experience from all the seniors and juniors. So that should be a good thing.
I wanted to ask you about a past player. Brittany Cherry went into the LR Hall of Fame over homecoming weekend. She was on those super regional teams in the early 2010s when you guys were going 50-10. I mean, those were good times. So how happy are you for her? And maybe could you give a little bit of maybe a memory of her?
Brittany was our leadoff batter like the whole 4 years you were here. But like you said, those teams were really good. They had some really good athletic kids. She played left field and hit leadoff, like we said. She was a contact kid. She wasn't a power kid. She was going to bunt and get on. She was going to put it in play. And just if she got on base, then we knew we were going to score her, just with the lineup behind her. But I'm excited for her. She came from like Carolina Forest, Myrtle Beach, and I sent her a letter saying, hey, who would have thought a young girl that came from there would do what you did at Lenoir-Rhyne, but she did. And she went to pharmacy school. Now she's a pharmacist at, I think she works either CVCC or CVS or Walgreens. So she's doing what she wanted to do.
Yeah, and she had some fond memories of you, just the exchanges the two of you had during her time here. She was looking back on those well during the Hall of Fame ceremony. Last weekend was homecoming, even though you guys aren't in season. Can you tell me about the importance of the event of homecoming for recruiting purposes for you guys? Maybe a tailgate or two?
Tailgate's awesome, and the crowd was awesome. Like he said at the football game, when you look all the way around the whole stadium, then that's a selling point for any recruit that comes on campus to see that this is it might be D2, but it's a D1 atmosphere for the football program, and those kids want to come here and attend games in the fall and be able to do that. And our kids, we did the parade. They enjoyed that throughout all the candy, and I made them go to the Hall of Fame event.
Yeah.
So they had a busy day, but it was good. It's good all the way around for all sports homecoming to have events like that.
Last question. One thing that you're looking forward to most in this spring season, what is it?
I think just to be normal.
Right.
Just to be normal and be able to experience all the normal stuff and getting over the COVID hump and the kids to be able to do what we do.
Coach Shena Hollar and the Bears trying to get back to the top of the sack in the spring. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Coming up next with Coach Everick Sullivan on Bears Talk Live.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Final segment on today's Bears Talk Live, presented by J. Brown Realtors. So happy to be joined by head men's basketball coach Everick Sullivan. Coach Sully, entering your 6th season.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you on the show, getting ready for the hoop season. First game on Saturday, heading over to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. But talked with Coach Hollar about this. How good does it feel to be back in a normal year? You guys maybe were the ones that were affected the most by the COVID stoppages and starting and all that craziness, but it's got to feel good to be normal.
Yeah, we was the experimental group.
Yeah.
So I think we got quarantined about 5 times.
Yeah.
We were off to a great start, 7-2, big wins against some rivalries, some really good teams, and you get shut down again. So we were prepared for a group that was kind of the cornerstones to me coming here. When I first got here, I recruited all those guys, and they're in our program, and they got a chance to understand what it was like to be here at LR and to be in the basketball program and kind of lay a foundation. So I was very disappointed because it didn't go the way expected, but I think out of it, they learned some valuable lessons, how to problem solve, how to handle adversity. They were a true team, and they made decisions as a group, not as individuals. So I'm very proud of those guys.
You mentioned those guys. You lost 80% of your scoring from the spring, to 1,000 points.
Don't say that. Don't even say it, Eric. Like you're gonna give me chills thinking about those guys put up massive numbers. You can't replace 2,000 points in one recruiting class. If you do, you're pretty lucky as a coach. We've got some guys that are able to step into some roles. But losing guys who just continue, and that's a sign of my staff. I lost a staff. I lost 2 great assistant coaches as well. They did a great job of developing guys. And those guys who averaged 18 to 16, DK and RJ, they didn't come in the program that way. So that's a testament to our program, our developmental piece to what we're doing for our student athletes. And I'm excited for them because they get to continue to play with the NCAA giving them an extra year. But they will be truly very hard to replace.
It says a lot about the program, too, that, your assistants are in demand as well. Yeah. So you guys brought in 5 transfers to kind of hope to replace those guys. So what's the identity that you guys are hoping to take on during this season?
Yeah, that transfer portal game is tricky.
Sure.
Right, it's tricky, especially coming out of a COVID year.
Right.
You don't really get a chance to see anybody up close.
Right.
You don't get a chance to see workouts per se. And then a lot of times they're coming from schools where they didn't get an opportunity to play. So you don't get a lot of video on them. So it's trying to find those pieces, starting with our culture and the character of the young men that we're recruiting. It starts right there. And we think we got a very special group. They're kind of coming from a lot of different places. It will be a different LR team than in the past. We'll be a lot taller, a lot longer, a lot more athletic, but they'll be very new to our system and how we play. So, we took, 3 Division I transfers, 2 junior college transfers. We're going to mix those guys in with the 8 guys we got returning, and we're going to get a great mix of gumbo basketball that we're going to play here shortly.
Talking about, there's 2 guys that are coming back that played significant minutes last year, in Cooper Fowler and Tim Steele. So how much are you relying on those guys and the rest of the returners to kind of show the transfers the way of LR basketball and the way you run your program?
Yeah, Tyson McClain, they've done a great job. Yeah, they've done a great job. I don't think any of those guys average over 6 points.
Yeah.
I think Cooper might have played 12 minutes a game, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He nursed a back injury. We had a lot of nicks and bruises throughout the year just because of the stoppage and starting. Sure. It's almost impossible to get a rhythm when you got a quarantine for 14 days after you play 2 or 3 games. So they did the best that they could. We couldn't really get in shape. So we got somewhat of a regular preseason, and I think Cooper has done an incredible job of being a leader. He's the brains, kind of the machine behind our offense. We just continue to encourage him to get fit in terms of where he can play more minutes. Tim Steele, same thing. Yep. Very high IQ basketball guys, but they are really about the team, what's best for the team, playing their roles to a precision. But, they've done a great job of leading these new guys and helping them kind of get ingrained in our culture, in our basketball system.
You guys are getting thrown into the fire heading to Knoxville to face a top 20 SEC team that's a perennial NCAA tournament team. Coach Rick Barnes obviously has deep ties here, graduate of LR, a member of the LR Hall of Fame, played here. You guys went there in 2018. What do you remember about that experience going to Knoxville the last time?
First off, I need to go to Coach Jacobs and see if I can get a couple of his tight ends to jump on the bus and come down there with us, or grab a couple of these for practice today. Because, just from experience knowing Coach Barnes, knowing Rick, he's got grown men, as you can say. He's got guys. They've been working all summer. They've got, they keep their team there all summer. They've been in a weight room. We know what we're walking into. I told my guys, you're getting ready to look a bear in the face. Yeah. Really, a bear in the face. So, we're excited about it. You can't say enough about Coach Barnes and all the legends who've played in the LR athletic department. They truly take care of their own.
Yeah.
And that's what Coach Barnes is doing for us. Ricky's He's given us an opportunity to go down there to play in an atmosphere that student athletes dream about, to be able to play in a facility like that on the court, on the SEC network. It's a dream come true for a lot of these young men. We're going to go down there and compete. That's what we're going to do. We're going to compete. We're going to have something after playing against each other for, we've only started practice October 15th. So we'll have something to kind of see where we are, gauge the barometer in terms of what we want to be and what we are right now. See who kind of can step up and maybe make some plays when necessary. Let our system flow. Do what we're going to do defensively. I think it's more about us than it is about them. But I can't say enough about, Rick and all the former athletes that have done great things, how they come back and give opportunities for those behind them.
You kind of just answered my next question about, it being about you versus them. But if there's like a couple of things that you want to see that's going to make you feel good about walking out of Knoxville, about your team, what are they?
Well, I think first and foremost, with our program, you must take care of the basketball.
Yep.
Live ball turnovers turn into highlight reels. Mm-hmm. You'll be on ESPN. So just take care of the basketball, all right? And then we want to share the ball. We want to get the best possible shot every trip down. That may be somebody making a sacrificial cut into the lane or a drive to kick the ball out to get an open three. We have to compete on the glass. We'll be our man. They'll be a little bit bigger than us. And we got to put a body on somebody. You got to be willing to sacrifice around the glass to allow them only one shot. And when we get it, we want to execute and get the best possible shot. So I think it's just start off with a few basics defensively, stick to what we do. Offensively, take care of the ball and get quality shots, quality possessions.
If last season taught us anything about the SAC, it's that it's anybody's game. Anyone can beat anyone on any night. What kind of is your expectations of the strength of the SAC this year, and where do you think you guys kind of fit into that picture?
Well, when I first arrived here, the SAC may have been the strongest Division II league in all D2.
Right.
I mean, it was unreal. And it's always been consistent. I think with the NCAA giving guys years back, there's been a couple teams that have kept their team, and they're coming back with the same team, and they've added pieces. So I really believe this may be one of the biggest, impact years for SAC basketball, according to the level. Like, it used to be top heavy. You kind of, the top will eat up the bottom a little bit.
Right.
But I think this year there'll be a lot more balance. There's going to be a lot more competitive games in that middle. There'll be a couple teams that are returning to the top. Queens will have everybody coming back. Tusculum will be really good. Carson Newman, those guys are going to be LMU, of course. But then from that point on, I think anybody, and I really believe like any teams that can play on their home court on any given night, you can get a victory, you can get a win. So it's going to be an exciting year. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm excited to be back in the gym with the guys and getting better every day.
Speaking of the gym, Schuford Gymnasium is getting a facelift, or already has gotten a partial facelift with a new floor, new bleachers coming after this season, new video board coming after this year. You've called it the new shoe smell.
Yes.
That's the hashtag.
Yes.
How exciting is it to be at Lenoir-Rhyne right now with all of these things happening for you, facility-wise?
It's incredible. I mean, it truly is to see the level of facilities that President Witt and Kim Pate and all the other factors, the key people have put together to put our student athletes not only on a platform but in facilities like our weight room and the turf, the football field, and now our gym. Our floor is the exact same floor they have at Division I school. So you're playing on the best, and it feels like that. My back feels a lot better after practice. It is a great feeling. Our guys are really appreciating it. I think it's going to pay dividends as the season go on. Playing on a surface like that, your body's able to respond. So it's going to be great to get back in there and play games with officials and the fans and get our fans back in there, get Bear Nation back support. We've got some tremendous support throughout the year, so we're excited about it.
I know you're the king of the full court / trick shot. You've been putting those videos out. I know some people were questioning the validity of your Twitter videos, but Jay-Z, Jeremy Zalaka, and I were in the office today watching one of your old Louisville games when you guys went down to Florida State. The baseline dunk, and then you hit the game winner. I mean, you shouldn't be questioning Coach Sully's videos because this man can play.
I appreciate it, but this is what I wish would have happened.
Okay.
So there's the new rule the NIL.
Right.
You got NIL. You can get paid.
Right.
Can I get any money from the views on that dunk?
A little bit.
I don't know how many I have. If I could give me a quarter, give me 10 cents on how many people watched that dunk.
Yeah.
And I might be on to something. So if we can go retroactive and I can go back and get a little piece of that change that that some of these student athletes may benefit in the future. But no, jokingly, it's those are memories.
Yeah.
When you got video and you can go back and guys are Googling you, it can help you recruiting. It can help you in the athletic. It can help me, when I'm talking to a guy like you who says, hey, I don't know if you could really play. I can say, hey, go look at this video.
Go look at the video.
I used to be able to play.
Yeah.
I don't know I can play now.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. It's all fun. You're just always trying to make the program aware, keep it on the scene, and sometimes you can use videos and highlights like that to keep people up on what's going on with LR basketball.
Last question. Late Night in the Shoes coming back.
Yeah.
That's next week. That's got to be –
That's going to be special.
You guys have got to be juiced up for that.
It's going to be special because it's 2000s.
Yeah.
What were you wearing in 2000?
I was in diapers in 2000.
You didn't have the baggy white shirt with the hat to the side with the headbands and the Allen Iverson. Was it Allen Iverson?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, stepping over people.
We need you coming to Late Night in the Shoe dress in something 2000 like.
I'll be there.
It's going to be fun. My guys got to pick out their favorite songs. Leah Clayton's done an incredible job of promoting it. And I think the campus gives them another event to get out to. Yeah. We got Justin Hay, our facility guy. He has the upgrade of the floor came with new lighting system.
Right.
So now we can turn them down though,
right.
And we can put spotlights. It's going to be a special show for our student athletes. We're excited about it. Our guys are excited about it. It's been the kickoff celebration for the basketball season, and we're looking forward to it.
The basketball season kicks off Saturday afternoon in Knoxville. The Bears are going to be on the SEC Network taking on Tennessee. Coach Sully, good luck. Looking forward to the season. Late Night at the Shoe, and thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Eric. Go Bears.
All right, Bears Talk Live returns next week right here from Blowing Rock.